everybody. Welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Guard Swanson. It's Friday and time for our special TGIF edition. Now, if you're like me, your weekend is already jam-packed. But there's one thing you might want to see before it's too late. It's the musical Mamma Mia. It's playing right now at Seattle's Paramount Theater, and it's your last chance to see it.
I was cheated by you, and I think you know when.
Mamma Mia is based on the songs of 70s Swedish pop icon ABBA, who produced big hits like Dancing Queen, Take a Chance on Me, and of course the title track, Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia, here I go again. I should not have let you go.
Mamma Mia is set on a Greek island paradise where a young woman's quest to discover her father's identity propels an amusing story of love, laughter, and friendship.
I play Sophie Sheridan. She is the bride-to-be, and she kind of sets the whole show in motion. She's been raised by her single mother, and she wants to know who her father is. She finds her mother's diary and invites 3 men who could possibly be the lucky dad without telling her fiancé, Sky, or her mother.
Mamma Mia originally opened in London back in 1999, landing on Broadway in 2001. All these years later, the show still gets audiences swept up in its crowd-pleasing tunes. And there's extra emotion from fans and the cast, knowing the musical is in its swan song.
We're part of a stepping stone in, I guess, the echelon of ABBA. It's really cool to be part of the ABBA franchise, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, it does mean a lot.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool because a lot of the audiences, a lot of people, because it's been around for so long. I mean, it's still around, just it won't be, like, this version of it won't be around in North America. But, like, so people have such, you know, vivid memories tied in with either the show itself, like seeing it on Broadway 15 years ago with their mom, or the ABBA music itself. So when they know it's their last chance to see it, I think you can tell with the energy in the audience, and that's really cool to be a part of that.
You are the dancing queen.
I want them to have 2 hours of fun. I want them to forget anything else except for smiling and enjoying the show.
To go into the show, forget everything you had going before.
Yeah.
Be really involved in the show. At the end, I want them to be dancing on their feet.
Yeah.
You know, if they're in the aisles and
Dancing and singing.
then we've done our jobs. That's honestly my favorite part of the show, is at the end to see the smiling faces of them all.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That looks really fun. Mamma Mia, by the way, is playing at the Paramount Theater through Sunday. For ticket information, check out our website, SeattleRefined.com. Another big show is headed to Seattle, and it opens next week. The Seattle Rep is transforming its Bagley Wright Theater into a wild dance party for Here Lies Love. The musical by David Byrne and Fatboy Slim tells the story of the rise and fall of former First Lady of the Philippines, Imelda Marcos. And as we'll show you next week, producers have made some dramatic changes to the theater in hopes of bringing Seattle audiences something they've never experienced before. And if you're looking to do something this weekend, of course we have you covered. Our managing editor, Britt Thorson, joins us now. And Britt, here we go. But here's something different. Right out of the gate, we're not talking food, we're not talking travel, we're talking hoops.
We're talking hoops. You've gotten the lifestyle portion of the evening with all of your shows. Now it's hoops time, right? And it's Gonzaga hoops we're going to talk about first.
Yeah, everybody's going to be watching that game.
Everyone's going to be watching that game, and they might even be watching it at a couple of local haunts. We checked out everywhere you can possibly watch the game here in Seattle. There's going to be special watch parties at Fremont Dock and FX McCrory's. So if you want to be around all your Zags, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about Gonzaga. Do you call them Zags?
Either Bulldogs, Zags, Gonzaga.
Okay, so if you want to hang out with your fellow Bulldogs or your fellow Zags, head to those 2 places. Or you could just, you know, do what I do. Stay in your apartment, pour yourself a brewski, and watch there, too. No judgment, right?
Yeah, brewski's early. Tip-off goes at 3:09 against South Carolina, right?
Right.
That'll be good. And then we also have kind of another Northwest team. I like to squeeze them in because I'm a Pac-12 guy. You got the Oregon Ducks playing.
Yes, and they also will actually have another party there at Quality Athletics.
Ah, that'll be
So
good.
watch parties all around. It's going to be a busy weekend, folks.
And that's a big one. 5:49 is tip-off against UNC. Of course, we're talking about North Carolina, who's been to the Final Four. That's won national championship. So the Ducks, very athletic, but it'll be a good one. But great places to watch.
Yeah, it's just cool to see representation
All
from
right.
the Pacific
Oh,
Northwest.
absolutely. All right, now let's talk about some veggie stuff. I love veggies, and I'm not a vegetarian, but I like to eat as healthy as
I was
possible.
going to say, we just showed you that big screen of the meaty burger that
And
you
the
could get at
fries.
Quality Athletics. Now let's move to the Vegetarian Fest. Actually, this is pretty cool, and it feels very Seattle. Seattle's Veg Fest is happening this Saturday and Sunday at the Seattle Center Exhibition Hall. It's the largest vegetarian food festival in the entire country, if you
Wow.
can believe that. We posted this online kind of not really knowing how it was going to do, and it's blowing up, not just because there are a lot of vegetarians in this area, which I'm sure there are, but also just because people like to eat healthy around here, I
Yeah,
think.
it's good.
And, you know, the whole Meatless Monday things where people were going without meat on Mondays, whether you're a full-blown vegetarian or you just want to eat a little bit healthier, people are kind of really excited about this festival happening this weekend. Free samples, cooking demos. It's not just going to be walk in and there's celery everywhere, right? There's like, these are full-blown meals. So check it out. We've got a whole article up on our website about it.
Yeah, and this is a big party weekend, and I have to tell you one thing. I'm not impressed very easily. I mean, something has to knock me off my feet. This Terracotta Warrior thing, this big display, this exhibit they're having over at the Seattle Center, maybe the coolest thing, we've done a preview on it, maybe the coolest thing I've done in a long time.
It's really cool, and this is a special offer just for the people watching TV today. I'm not even going to post this on the website until Monday, but we are holding a special Seattle Refined party at the Pacific Science Center where you can tour the exhibit itself for free on April 13th at 6 p.m. I'm going to release about 10 to 20 tickets right after the show.
Nice.
If you are watching this and you want to come, email us, hello@seattlerefined.com. I'm not going to post this anywhere on the website. This is just for the people watching right now. We're going to have a live DJ. We're going to have catering from City Catering. We're going to have Snap Bar, the photo booth. It's going to be really cool, and probably the coolest part of the whole party is that you can come and go from the actual exhibit itself, and this will be only a week into when it opens.
Yeah, you know, I was over there. They have 150 artifacts. Here's some of them right here. These are all handmade centuries and centuries and centuries ago. They found them in a farm back in 1994 over in China, and now they've unearthed 2,000 of them with another 6,000 underneath the ground, including a tomb they think they found. It is the neatest thing ever.
It's so cool, and I love the whole idea of, you know, these were built to be buried with their emperor as a way of, you know, protecting him in the afterlife. So, I mean, think about that. I don't know if anyone's
really
going to do
neat.
that for me when I pass away.
Yeah.
That'd be
All right,
awesome.
real quick, book club, rocking and rolling.
Book club, we have a big announcement about our monthly book club. For our April book club, we're partnering with University Bookstore to bring you Refined Reads. Our April book club selection is Edgar and Lucy by Victor Lodato. It's a stunning examination of family love and betrayal. It's also an adventure and the unlikeliest of love stories. Refined sat down with author Victor Lodato and asked what he hopes our readers will take away from this book.
I just hope that they fall in love with the characters like I did. And I certainly don't take fiction writing lightly. I think, not to be political about it, but I think books and fiction are really important right now because what it does is, especially if you're reading, I mean, we can read books that are about people that are like us, which is fine. But I think the great thing about fiction is it's the ultimate virtual reality in that you get inside and behind the eyes and inside the hearts of people who are not like you.
You can pick up a copy of Edgar and Lucy at University Bookstore. And if you'd like to join Refined Reads book discussion, sign up on our website.
Hey, thanks, Britt. Again, SeattleRefined.com for all the cool stuff that's happening around town. All right, coming up on Seattle Refined, the cherry blossoms are in bloom already, but we can't say the same for the Skagit County tulips. We'll tell you when to have your camera ready, plus Final Four excitement with 2 Northwest teams and the big dance. Of course, we were just talking about that, but more information on the way right here on Refined. Welcome back back to Seattle Refined. I'm Guard Swanson. Well, March Madness is coming to an end with the NCAA Tournament Championship game coming up in just a couple of days on Monday. But first, it is down to the Final Four. It starts tomorrow, and for the first time ever, Gonzaga made it to this part of the big dance. Como Sports Director Mike Ferrari joins us now to talk about the Zags' odds. But first, Mike, out of the gate, you know, this is a no-tie zone here on the show, so at least loosen that baby up.
I thought it was refined. I was trying to look refined. You know, we're talking about Gonzaga the whole time.
It's good enough, good enough.
Breathe a little bit, breathe a little bit.
All right, let's talk about the Zags real quick.
Hold on, let me do my button. I don't want you to get mad at me. 19 straight trips to the NCAA tournament. So
for the Zags?
Yeah, for the Zags. So they finally get that one time in the Final Four. And this is probably their best chance, obviously, because they're there as far as who they have to play to get to the final. South Carolina, they're favored against them, but that's going to be a tough out.
But you look at South Carolina, they've beaten the number 2, number 3, and number 4 seeds to get here, and now they're facing a number 1 seed with the Zags.
Pretty remarkable what South Carolina has done. Would you believe that this is only their 5th time in the NCAA tournament since 1974? But South Carolina is interesting because they have a terrific guard who's 6'5", and he's taller than any of the Gonzaga guards, Sindarius Thornwell. And he'll also play a little bit of forward, so he creates a lot of matchup problems. The big difference for Gonzaga, though, is Szymon Karnowski, the big guy from Poland, 7 feet 1 inch. And so how South Carolina defends him and how they can stop him if they can, that's something I'm sure they've worked on. And, you know, there's a week or so between games. If this was just a day between, obviously South Carolina would be challenged, but they're a really good defensive team. So they had some time to figure out what they're going to do, as well as Gonzaga had time to figure out what they're going to do against the Gamecocks.
Yeah, and I think Gonzaga, when they lost to BYU to close out the regular season, I think that loss helped them, and you can see here the team's so athletic. All right, let's switch it up a little bit and talk about the Oregon Ducks. Now, how sweet would it be to have the Zags and the Ducks in the national championship? But the Ducks have a big one on tomorrow.
And we work a little bit on the Husky pregame show, so our apologies to Husky fans. This is like a worst nightmare ever to have both those teams in the Final Four as far as basketball goes. But Oregon's kind of that team that could surprise anybody.
Super athletic.
Super athletic. They've done a lot. Dorsey's one of their best players. What they did to Kansas, we saw last weekend. They just seem to have everybody clicking at the exact right time and playing with a looseness that comes with people not expecting them to do much. And a lot of what these coaches talk about is how the conferences have gotten them ready for the NCAA tournament. The SEC coaches talk about that. The Pac-12 coaches do as well. And it's a really high caliber brand of basketball, and Oregon did really well during the season, and that's got them ready for this run. And they're a young athletic team, and they're playing with their hair on fire. They don't care. They just go out there and play. But Carolina is the team to beat. They're the team that's favored to win this. They were there last year. They know how to deal with this and all the attention they're going to get. Carolina was also the first team in Arizona on Tuesday night. They're ready to go, and talk about loaded. They're top to bottom, off the bench. They're pretty good.
Well, I'm rooting for the Ducks. I'm a Pac-12 guy. I want them to get in there. But all right, let's talk a little bit about the Dogs. They have a new guy running the show over there.
Yeah, Mike Hopkins, a longtime assistant at Syracuse. You know, they talk about winning the press conference. He certainly did that when he was introduced as head coach over on Montlake. I think the big difference, though, is what happened to that recruiting class. One of the best in the nation. All those guys are going different places. The Michael Porter Jr., Michael Porter Sr. Subject is something I'm sure we could spend an hour talking about, so he won't. He's not coming. But I would say for Husky fans, get ready to take some lumps, but know that in the long term, this guy's a winner.
Yeah, he was an assistant coach at Syracuse for 22 seasons, and all of a sudden, all right, I'm a head coach. Mike, always a pleasure, my man.
Same here, buddy.
All right, you can fix your tie as I go to a tease here. Yeah, because I know you got some other stuff to do today.
Thanks, Carl.
All right, there's a lot more coming your way on Refined. I'm sitting down with Star 101.5 Kent Phillips to talk all the music buzz happening right now, plus the best time to check out the Tulips this spring. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back after this. All up-and-coming designers hoping for a big break. Apply now to compete in the Independent Designer Runway Show. It's part of Fashion Week at the Bellevue Collection. Your designs will be featured on the runway, and you could win a $5,000 prize package. The application deadline is this Saturday, so act fast. Head to FashionWeekBellevue.com for more information. All right, welcome back to Refined. I'm Guard Swanson. If you ask any of my Refined teammates, they're going to tell you I'm always whistling some kind of tune, especially on Friday as we gear up for the weekend. So it seems fitting on this TGIF edition that we invited Star 101.5 Ken Phillips to join us to talk about the music. You are the music man of our station, aren't you?
I love music just like you do. It's great.
Yeah. So let's talk about just all the concerts that are coming here to Seattle and the Northwest.
I mean, you've been here for a long time.
Long
This is
time.
like the biggest year for concerts ever, and I'm not making that up. I mean, we're talking 1,000 concerts this summer.
Wow. And I know, of course, Upstream's part of that, but
Right, so
1,000?
think of it like a sandwich. So it starts with Upstream, right?
Right.
Which is the big music festival. Paul Allen, you guys are involved in that. Some 200 bands at that, and U2 and Mumford & Sons that same weekend at CenturyLink.
Wow.
That kicks it off.
Yeah. Here's
What-
U2 right here.
Yeah, what ends it at the end is we'll go U2 and all this at the beginning. At the end, you got Bumbershoot with multiple acts at Bumbershoot. So that's the sandwich. In the middle, you got, oh my, if you're a country fan, you got Tim and Faith back in town. They're May 27th, so they're coming to town. You got, oh my gosh, Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars.
and-
I'm seeing that one for sure.
and Ed Sheeran's that same weekend.
Wow.
Lady Gaga's the weekend after. All those at the Tacoma Dome. Go out to the Gorge. You got John Mayer. You got Jack Johnson, both on the same weekend in July. I mean,
It's just-
it is crazy.
Why is that happening here?
You know what? Seattle is a music town. So
Yeah.
people go to shows, especially we get into the summer, they go to shows. So we will pack the stadiums. I mean, it's unbelievable. Old school as well. I mean, you got Metallica coming. You got Earth, Wind, and Fire playing the
I love
fair.
it. You got the Chainsmokers.
Chainsmokers, amazing band. You got, oh my gosh, Chicago is doing, they just added an extra show at the winery. I can just keep going. Stop me whenever you want. It's crazy stuff.
Wow, and I just heard that this particular band, Chainsmokers, the first band since the Beatles to have 3 hits in the top 5. So they're on fire right now.
They're on fire. Yeah, they got Paris, Closer, Don't Let Me Down in the top 5. And then they might have another one. They did a song with Coldplay that's just out now. They could have 4.
Man.
That's never happened in music history. They are literally the hottest band now, the Chainsmokers.
And you also mentioned Ed Sheeran. That's a good act, isn't it?
Ed Sheeran's phenomenal. His streams on Shape of You beat every record. It's the best streaming single ever. Unbelievable.
Wow.
And his album's just fantastic. Here's the cool thing. He's been by here a couple of times.
Yeah.
The world's nicest man. If you sat and talked with him, it's just like talking to a friend. Just so modest.
I like it when big stars are kind of cool. Kind of like you, you know?
Yeah, right. The other thing about Ed Sheeran is people don't know, he wrote Justin Bieber's songs, Love Yourself. He writes
Really?
a lot of songs that he doesn't sing. That's how big he is.
Well, one concert that definitely is not coming here is Adele, because she's pulling the plug on traveling now.
You know what? She had a great show here. She announced in New Zealand just a couple of weeks ago, she said, you know, concerts aren't my bag. I did it for you.
I don't blame her.
I'm not going to do this anymore. I don't want to try. And she did, what, 123 dates in 200 days? So she's burned out. You
She
can
is
see
burnt.
it.
You know, she came here a while ago. I wanted to go see her. Oh, I love her, and the tickets were too expensive. I couldn't do it.
Here's the funny thing. When she first came to town, right on this stage, she did a private acoustic show for our listeners. The nicest, and backstage, this is a little thing about Adele, backstage, the dirtiest jokes. I'm not kidding you. The dirtiest jokes, but just so real
That's why
and
I
down
like
to
her.
earth. She's phenomenal. She's just great.
All right, this is Ken Phillips. Ken, give me some right here.
All right, you got it, man.
All right, thank you, Ken. We'll be right back with more on Seattle Refined right after this. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Guard Swanson. One of my favorite annual events starts this weekend. Of course, we're talking about the Skagit Tulip Festival. If you're wondering when's the best time to go, Como's Lee Stoll has the answer.
We can get them to our customers within 24 hours of picking them.
In the Rosengard greenhouse, tulips are a blooming business all year round.
Believe it or not, tulips are not just a flower for the spring.
Outside, temperatures are a little more temperamental.
The tulips are ready to bloom, so they're just waiting for a little bit warmer weather.
Hundreds of thousands of visitors try to plan their trip for the peak of color during the April Skagit Valley Tulip Festival. Recent springs have been warmer than usual, pushing the flowers to unfold 2, even 3 weeks early. This season is certainly cooler.
It looks like we're going to have tulips hopefully through the whole month of April, and if it stays cold like this, we might have them for a little bit longer than that.
Most fields should be in full bloom around the 15th. Perfect timing for local businesses that have come to depend on tourists spending millions of dollars around Mount Vernon.
If there is an average or an on time anymore, it looks like that's going to be this year.
These flowers are pretty vulnerable once they break above ground. The good news is these fields have not been hit by a hard freeze, a frost, or even strong winds. So your photos are really going to pop.
All right, we're about finished with this episode of Seattle Refined. As we end the show, here are some of our favorite photos and moments of the week. Have a great Friday and a weekend, everybody.